ready to unlock the power of databases, even if, you've never even thought about code.
Hmm.
We're taking a deep dive into MongoDB Atlas.
Okay.
It's like this super popular platform for building databases, in the cloud.
Right.
And we're using this really cool YouTube tutorial to guide us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's like we're looking right over the shoulder of, like the instructor.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what's really cool is how this tutorial, it just throws you right in.
Yeah.
You start building a database on MongoDB Atlas immediately. It's hands-on from the get-go.
Exactly. No time wasted. And they don't mess around either. They get you set up with an organization and a project within MongoDB Atlas right away.
Yeah, it's true.
It's almost like, setting up your profile in a new app, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And, it might seem kind of basic at first, but honestly, this step is super crucial.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's about access control, keeping things organized, even if you're just, tinkering on your own little project.
Yeah.
Think of it like this. You wouldn't just dump all your files on your desktop.
Right.
You'd use folders, keep things tidy. This is like the same idea, but for databases.
Ooh, I like that analogy. Speaking of keeping things organized, did you catch how they use the Airfree tier of MongoDB Atlas? That's amazing. Anyone can just jump in and start building. No cost at all.
Totally. Making it accessible is so key, especially for folks just starting to explore this stuff. One thing, though, I noticed they kind of breezed over the auto-generate secure password thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah. A small detail, but honestly, a strong, unique password, that's always a good habit. Something to remember, for our listeners.
For sure. Great catch. Security is so important, especially with, data involved. Now, getting a bit deeper into this tutorial, something struck me as kind of curious. They don't really talk about tables, which is what I always thought of with databases.
Interesting.
Yeah. Instead, they're using this term collections.
Yeah. You've hit on something really key there, the difference between these NoSQL databases like MongoDB and the more, I guess, traditional SQL databases. Even the words they use are different, right?
Yeah.
And that actually points to a much bigger difference in how the data itself is structured. MongoDB, they use documents, not those rows and columns we're used to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a mind bend if you're coming from that traditional database world.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, so we've got documents, not tables. Help me get this straight. What's the advantage there? Why change things up like that?
Okay, picture this.
Yeah.
You've got this digital container, right? And you can stuff all kinds of information into it. That's your MongoDB document. Text, numbers, even like images, locations, it all fits.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah. Think of it like having a folder on your computer, but it can hold any file type you want. Totally different from those SQL databases where everything's got to be in, rows and columns, super strict.
So it's about being flexible.
Exactly. Yeah. And that changes the game for developers. Say you're making, an online store, right? Old way, you'd have a table for products, another for reviews, another for images. It'd get messy. MongoDB. You just put all that info for one product into a single document.
So it's all linked together neatly.
Yeah, exactly. Makes managing that data way easier. And finding what you need is faster too.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So how does the tutorial show this in action? They just tell you about it or what?
Here's where it gets cool. They use Airbnb listings as their sample data, which is really smart.
Okay. Wait, I see what you mean.
Right.
Airbnb listings, they've got tons of different info, right? Location, pictures, the descriptions, reviews. That's where this whole flexibility thing really shines.
Exactly. It just clicks when you see it with that Airbnb data. MongoDB can handle real-world stuff, messy data. It's not a problem.
Right. So inspiring if you're thinking about making your own Debulian apps, Okay, so we've got organizing our work, the free tier, this whole document setup, which is super cool. Anything else our listeners should know from this tutorial? What else jumped out at you?
One thing that impressed me was how they showed off MongoDB's query language.
Yeah. It's
surprisingly easy to use, even if you've never, touched code before in your life.
That's awesome. If it's easier to use, more people can get into it, right? That's got to be a good thing. It really is amazing how, this tech is so accessible now, even for beginners.
Right. And the tutorial does a great job showing that it's not just theory, you're actually building something real.
Yeah, it's I don't know, instead of just reading a cookbook, you're actually baking something.
Exactly. And speaking of getting your hands dirty, the tutorial goes beyond the basics. It gives you a taste of actually talking to your data using MongoDB's query language.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that before. What's so cool about it?
It's surprisingly intuitive. It's almost like writing in plain English. You can ask things like, show me all the Airbnb listings in, say, Chicago that have a hot tub, and it just understands.
No way. That's so cool. So it's like you're having a conversation with your data.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's what's so great about MongoDB. They designed it to be user-friendly, even if you're not a database whiz.
This deep dive has been amazing. We went from knowing nothing to understanding how MongoDB Atlas works, the whole document thing, even how to talk to it with the query language. It's a lot. What's the main takeaway for our listeners, especially those who want to start building their own apps?
I think the biggest thing is don't be scared of databases or coding. Building something with MongoDB Atlas is actually pretty easy, especially with all the resources out there, like this awesome tutorial.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So here's something to think about. If you could build ANY app with this free MongoDB Atlas setup, what would it be? Something to connect artists, a fitness tracker, the next big social media platform. Let that question simmer as you explore the amazing world of NoSQL databases. And until next time, happy coding, everyone.